If there's a topic you would like us to discuss or talk around or whatever, write it down on here legibly, please. You don't have to sign it or put your name on it. There is no such thing as a dumb question. So I'm gonna, there are a few of them in here. I'm gonna kind of put a handful of these things with each group. And if it's not too late to ask for a given topic. So if there's anything you want to be sure that we cover, we'll let you stick up your hands and ask questions. But so many people are reluctant to do that, you can write it down or remain anonymous if you like. All for coming out to the Festival of Flowers today. Is everybody having a good time? Everybody seeing lots of stuff, good stuff? Very good. Well, I want to start, sort of what we're going to do here is I want to introduce the panel to you. Mr. Howard Garrett is going to give us sort of a keynote introduction about what's going on in the world of organics. I'm going to ask each panel member, so you guys start thinking. I never warn them about any of this up front because I like to get really spontaneous responses. But I want to go through and everybody talk about what they think the single most important thing that has happened in the organic world in the past year has been. And while we're doing that, I will sort through these cards and we'll start kicking around your ideas. So, to my immediate left, those of y'all who have been coming for many years know Mr. Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I hope you visit his website frequently. I think it's the best site on the internet and certainly the most accurate and most organic gardening information you'll find in one place, I think, and it's the dirtdoctor.com website. You're probably familiar with his books and the books that he and Malcolm have co-authored, and it's such a pleasure to have him down here from Dallas. To his left, Mr. Stuart Franke, head of Medina Agriculture. I don't think I need to say much more than that. Medina has been a very important part of organic and natural, environmentally friendly gardening, I guess I should say, for a lot of years. What you all may not know about Stuart is not only does Medina make top quality products, but they have been involved worldwide over the years in bioremediation, cleaning up very toxic situations around the globe, and have done a lot of things to improve people's lives worldwide over the years. They're also very heavily involved in a research project on a new cancer treatment drug that probably shows more promise than anything that's come along since Taxol. So Medina's a whole lot more than just folks that make good quality organic products. To his left, Mr. Bruce Dooley, the biggest character on the panel. I think I can probably say that without any hesitation. And that's saying a lot about this group. That's exactly right. I hope you listen to Bruce's show, Organic Matters, from 5 to 7 on KTSA on Saturday afternoons. It'll both scare the heck out of you and inform you a great deal. I don't think I'm being dishonest to say that Bruce's show is more organic living than it is organic gardening. It's just a wealth of information. If you have not discovered it, I hope you will do so, and I think once you've listened once or twice, you'll be as hooked as I am. And if I'm in the car or near radio at that time, we always have it on, and I think you will enjoy it as well. Mr. Malcolm Beck, well, Garden-ville's been described as the center of the organic universe, and Malcolm started Garden-ville, so I guess he's the god of organic gardening for this area. And, of course, not as active with Garden-ville as he once was, but he's out traveling the world, learning, sharing what he learned with all of us, and helping to spread the doctrine, the gospel, so to speak, of organic gardening. And, gosh, I could spend 2 hours talking about Malcolm and all that he has done. I think I would have to say that a great tribute to him is probably he is the person who has inspired every other person on this panel. I know it's certainly true of me, of Howard, of John Dromgoole, of Bruce, and Stuart as well. So we all kind of look up to him as the father figure of organic gardening. It's such a pleasure to have him here, back from wherever he's been around the world recently. And on the far left, Mr. John Dromgoole, who is... Well, John has had the longest running organic radio show in the United States on KLBJ up in Austin. John is a fellow who is as passionate about his work and about organics as any person I've ever known. Has a wonderful philosophy about organic gardening as well as a great knowledge of organic gardening products. Those of y'all that were privileged to hear him talk earlier, I'm sure understand that a bit more. And such a pleasure to have him, and he, like Stuart and like Malcolm, have done us all such a favor in bringing a lot of really top quality organic gardening products to us. I mean, that's one thing that separates us from most of the rest of the country, is that we have access the organic gardening products that we have the privilege of talking about on the radio. People can listen to Howard in like 120 different markets across the country, and then they don't have any place to go buy all the good stuff he talks about. But it's because of people like John and like Malcolm and like Stuart that we have the great diversity of organic products that you will see out there. So once again, let me thank you all for coming today, and let Mr. Howard Garrett say a few words here. Okay, sure.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate Bob and all his work, all these guys on the panel. I appreciate you people for being here and being interested in organics. I'm sure there's probably a few of you in the audience that aren't totally organic yet. We'll try to change that as the seminar goes on. I want to talk about change. The most important thing that's going on, Bob's already talked about it. I'll have to think of a different way to address it, I guess, when we come to that. But change is what I deal with the most. And all these people did. And when they first started out talking about organics, getting people to change from what they were doing and what they were comfortable doing over to some new technique or new philosophy, overall philosophy, new technique or new product was difficult. It was difficult for me to convert things over to what extent I have in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I'm finding that now, as I'm on in other cities around the country, I'm running into the same thing again. Whatever is the status quo is in power and has the greatest power, and that is difficult to change. But there's a lot of change going on in organics, and that's what I want to talk to you about, some specific things today, and then we'll get into the questions. Everybody's got a lot of good questions coming in, it looks like. I've been involved in encouraging people to bring some new technology and new products to the marketplace. If you listen to Bob's show, or if you've heard any of my shows, you've already heard about some of those things, and I wanted to tell y'all and show you what some of them are today. And also at the same time tell you that what we'll be talking about and using and recommending next year at this time may be totally different, because we're learning new things literally all the time. And I'll give you an example. Some of you may have heard of this story, but a real quick one. Somebody called my show last summer, and said, Howard, I got mosaic virus on my squash. What can I do to cure it? And he was a commercial grower. And I said, well, I don't know, but one of the things you might want to try, I know that hydrogen peroxide will work on bacterial diseases, because we had used it on aloe vera down in Costa Rica on some large-scale growing operations down there, and we had cured fire blight with it and some other things. So I said, try it on this mosaic virus. Don't know if it'll work, let us know. He called me back in a few weeks, and he said it not only worked, it cured the plants completely. Hydrogen peroxide, 3% out of the grocery store. I said, this guy's name was Frank, I think. I said, Frank, that is a big deal, what you have discovered. And obviously it is, because up until that point, all of us have been saying, there's nothing you can do if you have curly top on tomatoes or mosaic virus or some other viral disease. You just have to destroy the plants and try to start over. Hydrogen peroxide, which you can buy commercially and dilute it, and it'll be cleaner, but the simplest thing in the beginning is just go to the grocery store and get the 3% stuff. And that's how it is in the bottle. So that's just one of the things that we have stumbled into. Another couple of product technologies that I want to show you about real quickly, because they're really new. Bob's been talking about this one. Those of you that grow tomatoes, this product here, which is a fancy soap, this is a nanotechnology soap that was used by the Navy. And somebody serendipitously discovered that it would cure diseases and some insect problems. And it will cure early blight on tomatoes. The yellow leaves on the bottom of your tomatoes, this is a product that you need to try if you haven't tried that yet. It is nanotechnology soap. It's a fancy soap is all it is. Another technology that's really changing is this. I got a call about diatomaceous earth one day, and this company said, Howard, we've got the best diatomaceous earth in the world. And I said, really? I've heard that about 20 times. He said, no, really. I said, okay, here's what you do. I want you to get 3 different labels for it, one for killing crawling insects, and one for stored grain, and one for feeding it to animals. And when you get that, and when you get a total chemical analysis of it, get back with me and let's see. Well, they did that, and they gave me documentation that this diatomaceous earth, and this is the dispenser, This diatomaceous earth is perfectly safe to breathe.